3 left. Myers has it. He blows right by. Gets to the three-point line. Gives it off to Miguel Arnold. Rises and fires. Miguel!
Welcome to the Dip Mitras Show. I'm your host, Chad Cook. The star, of course, is Dip Mitras, the 19-year head coach of Augusta University. We are in the heart of Peach Belt Conference play. The team's 19-3, 10-2 in PBC action. 1 game ahead of North Georgia, 2 games ahead of USC Aiken, Lander, and Young Harris. Big stretch of games coming up. Depending on when you're watching this, if you're watching it right when it comes out, you'll catch it in time to see what Coach has to say before Wednesday night's road game at Lander. Again, 2 games ahead of Lander in the standings. Then Saturday, 3:30, home game, break the attendance record game. That's the theme. All tickets are going to be free to all people. Young Harris is coming in. Again, 2 games ahead of Young Harris. And then a week from when this releases is when USC Aiken will come our way for the Teddy Bear Toss game. Again, we're 2 games ahead of USC Aiken as well. Coach, I know I can kind of just feel it as I walk around, my daily action and think about Augusta University basketball. Conference play is really heating up.
It is, and there's really no separation between 1 through 5, and that's a good problem to have. And we look forward to the challenges. Like I said, early in the year we had these away games, we have some home games, and it's a big challenge. And every night you have to lace it up, no question. Even more so than any year in before COVID. So we're excited about the possibilities of putting ourselves in position to win the regular season title.
Yeah, and with that comes the right to host the Peach Belt Conference tournament. So much on the line. You mentioned in our last episode how interesting these matchups are. And so we played North Georgia, a top 25 matchup. We were 14, they were 21 last Wednesday. You were fortunate to come away with the victory. You talked about how they play a lot like we play, inside out. And you mentioned during that episode how Lander had just shot 52 threes in a game, a number that you said, we might not shoot that many. Augusta might not shoot that many in a month. Well, that's your next opponent. I looked it up. In the last 4 games, Lander has shot, where is it here? Okay, 42, 52, 37, and 23. We've shot 11, 22, 21, and 19 from 3. So differing styles. What do you plan to do against that?
Yeah, it's different. And they actually threw a curveball at Aiken. In the Aiken game, they had their post bring the ball up, which we haven't seen all year.
Is that Sherfield?
No, Mays, number 5,
okay,
which was really odd. They haven't done that all year. So, one thing about playing Lander, they're always going to throw something different at us. They're definitely going to shoot threes. They're definitely going to drive it. They have the ability to make a play for somebody else. We have to do a better job of guarding the ball in our little yard. We have to do a better job of swiping at balls, getting our hands on basketballs, and we have to contest threes and rotate. They give a big challenge. Obviously, on the flip side, if their big guy's bringing the ball up the court, he's got to eventually guard Tyshaun inside. So it's definitely a class of styles, and this is what's nice about our league. There's something different every night, and that's one of the reasons we focus 1 game at a time. So literally, all we worry about after Wednesday's game was preparing for Lander or whatever on a Saturday. You just go to the next one. You cannot look ahead just because of the contrasting styles.
The big man bringing the ball to the court, center bringing the ball to the court reminds me of the Emmanuel game. I think that happened
a little bit, yes. And this is even weirder because he's initiating the offense. So we haven't seen that. We see a little bit with Emmanuel. In that game, we went small for a couple of segments. Tyshaun, Timmy was healthy. With Timmy Sellers not being healthy, we'll probably go small again during some segments. But the main thing for us is to play team defense. Anytime anything throws anything weird at you, you still got to concentrate. Where's the ball? Where's your man? And how can we defend the basket?
Team defense reminds me of something that's been, very good for you guys lately. So in the last 4 games against Aiken, at Aiken, we had 3 steals. But after that, 10 steals against against Clayton State on the road, 8 against North Georgia, and then 17 Saturday against Georgia College. 13 in the first half. You got out to a 54-27 lead at halftime. made 13 steals in that first half. And these aren't like, picking a guy's pocket off the dribble. What do you call it? Shrinking the floor?
Shrinking the floor, getting our hands active, deflecting passes that are thrown on penetration. Yeah, we were really locked in, guarding the ball, and more importantly with our help principles. And, can we translate that to Lander? Very similar styles. The difference is Lander, when they drive it, they have the ability to make a pass a little bit better than Georgia College in certain instances with certain players. But main thing is, like I said, we got to guard the ball as a team. You do everything as a team, and defense sometimes get very individualistic, and we want to guard it one-on-one, but you can't rely on your help principles all the time.
And when you guard it as a team and you get into those gaps, and that you say, Lander has the ability to make the pass to the next guy, then it becomes a lot of help the helper scrambling around.
Yes,
right?
A lot of help the helper, a lot of scramble, a lot of communication. Sometimes we're not right, but whenever effort's good, I remember even a Georgia College game, I'm like, all right, rotation's wrong, but our effort was there. And like I told you after the game, we had a phenomenal practice the day before, so hopefully we'll keep that mindset of practice. It's a long year. It's a really long year. Now we're sitting there with 3 weeks to go in the regular season, and, it'll be a challenge, but I think our guys start seeing now, hey, there's only 3 weeks low. For these guys, there's 3 weeks to go in their career. Yeah. And, fortunately, we had the Peach Belt tournament, and, right now the regional rankings are going to start coming out. We're probably one more week from it becoming public, from just my little research, there's 5 teams probably in the top 8 in our league. So we'll. This is the fun part of the year, no question.
Yeah, the league. It's interesting. I was watching Texas play Kansas last night.
Yep.
The Big 12. You had a 2-loss team, Texas, on the road against a 4-loss team, Kansas. Both teams are ranked in the top 10. Well, tomorrow night we'll have a 2-loss team, Augusta, on the road at a 4-loss team, Lander. 5 Peach Belt teams ranked in the top 8, maybe when the regional rankings come out. So a lot of parallels.
Yeah, you just got to focus. Literally, you just got to say, listen, we got to win the next game. And when you win the next game, by the time you either get to the bus or go home, there's other results. And there's, like I said, this is going to be one wild 3 weeks, no question.
Yeah. So, in this recent week since our last episode, there's been, a lot of good play. When you have 2 wins at home, one over a top 25 team, you're going to have some good individual performance. Let's start with 7'1" senior center Tyshaun Crawford scored 23 points against North Georgia. And then 35 against Georgia College Saturday. Made 23 out of his 30 field goal attempts combined in those 2 games. That's 77%. The returning Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year, I think a very likely candidate for National Player of the Year this year, the what they call the Bevo Francis Award. Well, Tyshaun being the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week, let's look at his highlights against Georgia College. The touch that he shot the ball with is really something.
I didn't realize at the end of the game he had that many points because I noticed Miguel throwing the ball back to him like 2 times in a row. And when they came out, I heard somebody say he's got 35 points. I had no idea. That's a heck of an accomplishment for a guy you have to get the ball to, okay?
Only shot it 16 times.
Yeah. So, go back to the North Georgia game. He took 7 shots in the 7 minutes he played in the first half. So it was a 1-point game, but we felt if we can keep him on the floor. But no, he was really good. And this is when he was really good last year. It was right around this time that he started kind of elevating his play. He missed a few free throws the first half. Of course, he's like, can I get 40? I'm like, you missed some free throws. You could have had 40. I'm not into that, but heck of an accomplishment. 35 points is an incredible amount for a guy, I see him go over his other shoulder. He's gotten better and better. You can see how comfortable he is. They were playing him one-on-one, and he was really good.
Didn't dunk the ball. against Georgia College. By now, my research didn't dunk the ball, and the way he shot with that touch, really incredible. And then that North Georgia game you mentioned, played 7 minutes in the first half because he had 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes. Didn't pick up another foul the rest of the game. You talked last week about him pausing for poise in the post. Well, whether it be his poise, his patience, or his touch, his improved touch over these 4 years here in Augusta, I'm sure he takes a ton of pride in his progress as a player.
He does, and student report, he's an endangered species. There's not many guys like him anymore. That play on the low block. We drew up a little play for him to shoot a jump shot. He missed that one because he was asking to get a jump shot. He wanted to take a three. But then he made that face-up one. No, he's gotten better and better. And, obviously, he's on, if we can be fortunate enough to win our league, he'll hopefully be player of the year. He's really progressed, and proud of him. And it's been a really, really, really good progression for him.
Now, Tyshaun is leading the league in scoring. In conference play, he's averaging 23 points a game, 22 overall. Second in the league is Frank Champion from North Georgia. We saw him last week. Well, third in the league is Miguel Arnold, Tyshaun's longtime teammate, a senior for the Jaguars at 17.3 points per game. Well, I thought when Tyshaun went out against North Georgia and had limited playing time in that first half. Well, the team, goes into halftime down 1. I thought Miguel was a huge reason for that. He had 4 assists in the first half, 3 for 5 from the field, ended with 20 in that game. You've talked about his development as a player beyond just a 3-point shooter. Let's take a look at Miguel, and we'll also see in these highlights from the North Georgia game, we'll also see a little bit of how the comeback was completed. Not the comeback, but the tough conference win was completed, and a lot of defensive stuff, effort plays, Jaquez Kirby, Tyree Myers. We'll take a look at that and come back and get Coach's opinion on it.
In the first half of Clayton game, I thought Miguel played one of his worst halves of the year. I looked at, and he had 3 assists. We only had 8 buckets. So you get used to him scoring so much. I think you said he had 4 assists in the first half. It's everybody's preparing for him, so he has to pass it some. But his ability to drive the ball has helped us. I mean, he couldn't do that stuff last year, and we challenged him. He's gotten better at it, and he's having a great year. He's never been all conference. And obviously he's on track to be an all conference player. And he's had a great. He's one of the reasons we're winning, him and Tyshaun, no question.
Seeing him make those assists, kind of brings to mind, he came in as a point guard. And
those are point guard plays. Yep.
Yeah, Tyree was such a great point guard from the start. You moved Miguel over, but, in a different universe, I think he could be a great Peach Belt point guard
he could
as well.
be. And just his ability to make shots, we have to play him off the ball. His ability to come off screens and shoot, it's just hard. Yeah. And, those are great assists. I mean, I don't forget about it because I remember the one he had to Chris in the corner. That one to Tyree was a big play. No, he's gotten more comfortable. He's more aggressive. when you drive the ball, so many things happen. I just talked to Kirby about it. I said, you got to drive the ball more. And Kirby wants to throw the ball to Tyshaun and make a pass. I said, you can drive it and make the same pass. So hopefully Kirby has the same progression Miguel has.
We're going to get to Kirby in 1 second. One more thing about what we just watched. On the defensive end, there's a play like a high-low pass, and you see Miguel and Tyree fighting over the steal, basically. Both of them helping from the wings. You see Darren flying around, getting block shots and steals. I kind of think it started at USC Aiken in a loss when you were a little bit shorthanded. That effort is really coming along.
Yeah, those are plays to help you hang banners. It really was. We were fronting Frank Champion, and Tyree read the pass, and Miguel did. Both read the pass, and that's part of being team defense. It's easy to be a team offensive player if you're an unselfish guy. Defensively, you have to realize, hey, this is where I'm making mistakes when I'm not involved in the play. And those guys been around a long time. They're able to kind of, I call it sniff out plays and see it coming. KJ Sherrill, who played me years ago, he was the same way. He just had a sense of sniffing out plays. Well, our perimeter guys do a great job of that.
Yeah, and I mentioned those guys and didn't mention Jaquez. His activity on defense is just something to watch.
Kirby just kind of makes things happen. Like he reads things. His ability to get, saw the one was a 1-3-1. We won 1-3-1, and I yell, "Get your hands on the ball! Get your hands on the ball!" He literally just swats at balls, and he has gotten that steal like once a game when we do it, and he's really progressing as well.
And you said last week, we got Tyshaun and Miguel going. We need some guys to make shots, and at that point, Jaquez was coming off, I think, a 16-point, 13-rebound game at Clayton State, and he followed that up with a great game against Georgia College. Had 11 points against North Georgia. Had 11 points in the first half while Tyshaun was out. Made 3 threes. And then in the second half, David Vitti came out and scored 8 points in the second half. So you got those guys making shots. Let's take a look at that before we kind of wrap things up.
In this team's game.
Miguel carries it like a running back inside. They got a little NBA 3 steps to the basket as Tyshaun is down behind the field. They get it down low. That's rejected by Jaquez Kirby. Clean block by Kirby. And Tyshaun Crawford is ailing back.
He looked like a deer that got hit by a car. I joke with him about it because he fell. He doesn't usually fall.
It's a long way down.
It's a long way down. It's a hard fall when you're that big. So I was like, oh, I hope he's okay. Yeah. And he kind of got up and staggered like a deer almost. That
was a huge play by Kirby.
Huge.
5 against 3. Yes. I think we were up 2 at the moment.
Yes, we sure did because I put up 60-58. Yeah, it was a great play by Kirby. And, it's easy to take shots. It's really hard to take shots after you miss one, okay? So, like, Miguel, you don't have to worry about it. Like, it's going up, all right? 3 in a row he's missed. He's shooting if he's open. Actually, Tyree's got the same kind of mental approach. He might miss one, but he's going to take the next available open shot. We're trying to get Kirby and V to that stage. If it's a good shot, take it. Yeah. And people don't realize that's you remember as an ex-shooter, Chad, like it's not easy to do if you've missed 2 in a row. Let me take the next one. If it's a good shot, I always say if it's a good shot, you can rebound it. People should know it's going up. Right now we run what we'll actually call 1, and Kirby gets the ball at top of the key for a high-low. He's back off. He's shooting it. Our guys know it. And it's hard to do it if we missed a couple times in a row. But that's the progression for Kirby and Vita to keep taking good shots. Sometimes guys want to take a harder shot the next time. You don't want to do that. But right now, Miguel and Tyree, the only 2 guys, and Chris is developing a little bit. Hey, I'm open. I'm shooting it. If I miss it, if I'm open again, I'm going to shoot it. And that's a good trait to have to be a good player.
Yeah, David talked about that. Missed his first 4 against North Georgia, but trusted the fact that he puts the work in. He's got the support from you and his teammates, and made 2 huge ones. One to put Augusta up 64-61. One to put us up 71-67. Start to create some distance in that big game against North Georgia. You said the name Chris. That's Chris Britt, a true freshman out of Gastonia Christian. Is that
Gaston Day?
Gaston Day, sorry. Gaston Day in Charlotte, or Charlotte area.
Gastonia, yep.
Gastonia, that's where I had that. Okay. And so Chris has really been coming along, as has redshirt freshman Dimitri Gardner in Saturday's 86-61 win over Georgia College. As I said earlier, we got out to a 54-27 lead in the first half. Dimitri started in place of the injured Darren Lucas White, scored 6 of the first 8 points, 10 points in the first half. Chris comes in 3 minutes after he had checked in. He had already scored 7 points, so 17 out of your 2 freshmen. You got to like seeing the rotation kind of round out.
Yeah, I mean, both of them. Meach was playing early in the year. Chris wasn't. Chris is finally at the point now where he knows what we want him to do. He's kind of freed himself up to play. Chris really works at it. You know, a great characteristic to have, and Meach is spending time at it. And it's not hard. It's hard being a freshman when you're playing with guys 23, 24 years old. They're tough on you. They're relentless on you in practice. But I think they've kind of just stuck with it and said, hey, I can be a good player. The other day, Chris made a pass on the break to Miguel, and I heard Tyree kind of call out to Chris, I see you, Chris. Like, that's a pass that Chris wasn't making early in the year. So he's really progressed, and both of them have bright futures. As freshmen playing on a team that's in first place, getting experience. Neither one of them has closed a game yet, but there's a reason why. We got other guys to do that, and that's the next progression. Are they going to be put in a situation to close a game? With our depth, I don't think so, but they've played some important minutes in the second half.
Yes. Now, before we go, I know, hey, we got to focus one game at a time, and you're definitely doing that. But there is a big theme behind Saturday's game that we definitely want to mention on the way out.
Yeah, we're trying to break the attendance record. The attendance, I joke about it. It was the attendance record is like the Loch Ness Monster, okay? There were people that seen it, okay? I was at the game. That number that Joey put down years ago, I don't think it could have been true because we only had 2,216 seats. We have 3,027 seats. I'd like to get 3,000 people in there Saturday. So game's free. We're giving tickets. I dropped some tickets off on the way in today. We're just trying to get people there. I think we got a good situation because I don't think high school basketball is going to be playing. Yeah. So I'm going to send out the text on after Atlanta game, and hey, let's get people at the gym. And more importantly, gives us momentum heading into the regular season. Be great to get 3,000 people out there. We have a baseball, softball game going on, but we're looking forward to it. Something we haven't tried, and it would be neat to do. And I'd love to see people parking on Riceboro Road and having to walk up that hill.
That's Saturday, 3:30 p.m. at home. Young Harris is the opponent for that one. Young Harris is one of those 5 teams that Coach anticipates being ranked in the top 8 in the Southeast Regional. That's the stuff that's important for NCAA tournament selection. So huge game, and then following that is a big teddy bear toss game next Wednesday night against USC Aiken. We've got 3 Wednesday Saturdays to end the regular season. Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. And, if the team can, in charge of their own destiny, if they can go 6-0, they host the Peach Belt Conference, and anything less than that, starts to bring in other scenarios, and we'll just take it one game at a time.
If we go 6-0, we don't look at the standings, to be honest with you. And that's why, that day everybody kind of lost and we won. I'm like, hey, don't have to look at the standings. If you keep winning, you don't have to worry about that stuff. So hopefully we'll put ourselves in that situation. And, these, I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned you, there was their 100th win the other day when they beat Clayton, I think, or one of the games. It was the 100th win for those guys' career.
Is that right? The seniors?
Yeah, the seniors.
That would be like Tyree, Darren, and Miguel.
Yes, it's the 100th win in their career if we take out the COVID year, which, Miguel didn't play. And that's a heck of an accomplishment. And I'm not great in math, but that's 25 wins a year. Yeah. So, and that's with some games to play. I think the record, as I looked it up, was 116. I think Howard Brown and Caleb Brown had it, ironically. Yeah. So we're not approaching that, but we're still approaching Daniel Dixon. Ben Madgen was like 108. So we're getting there, and those guys, that means something to have 100 wins in their career. And I think way back, I joke with Darren Lucas White all the time. I never missed a game in my career. I never missed a practice. And we were very successful, but I never had 100 wins. And it's kind of a neat thing as you start looking as their career winds down and more importantly, get ready for postseason.
Yeah, that and one of those seasons for those guys was cut short when you were on your way to the NCAA tournament because of COVID. When COVID first hit.
You're right. You're right about that. So the freshman year, we lost in the game to go to the Elite Eight, I think it was.
That's right.
The second year, tournament gets canceled, and last year we made an unbelievable run. So it's not easy to do what these guys have done, and they've all been a big part of it.
By the time you see this, the new rankings will be out. Augusta at this moment is ranked number 14, might move up from there, but more importantly, the Peach Belt Conference schedule is heated up, and we've talked all about it today. Thank you to Get Up Productions for filming, producing, editing, hosting, distributing the show. That's getupproductions.com, or on Instagram it's at getup.productions. You can follow the Augusta University men's basketball team and all athletics at augustajags.com, or on social media at AugustaJags. I follow the team closely as part of the AugustaPress.com, the Augusta Press, the local media outlet. So you can follow the previews and reviews of all the games and see the show and stuff like that populated there. So don't forget the 3:30 p.m. Saturday Break the Attendance Record game. When he says free, he means free. Yep. They're handing out tickets. Yep. I don't know why, other than to just remind people, hey, this thing's free. I'm pretty sure if you walk up, you'll just walk right through the door and everybody will just say hi and welcome to the game. So come see the Jags in action as conference play continues to be red hot.